Hello and welcome to TopX, where we count down the very best that YouTube has to offer. I'm your host Dan, and today we'll be expanding our minds with the top 10 Make You Smarter channels. For this list, we're looking at channels that focus on everything from scientific trivia to full-on educational courses. We ranked our picks based on a mix of subscriber numbers, views, personal preference, votes from our users, and of course, general impact on the YouTube community. Number 10, Mental Floss. Starting off our list is actually a pretty big brand name. Mental Floss is also a print magazine of the same name, but we all know the state of print media, so it makes sense they would branch out to this sexy new medium we call the internets. All the cool kids are doing it.
Hi, I'm John Green. Welcome to my salon. Hello, mustachioed me. This is Mental Floss on YouTube, and according to the internet, if I put my iPhone inside of this toilet paper roll thing, it'll turn into a speaker. Let's see how it works.
Here, you may recognize the host, John Green, who's appeared on our Blog Channels episode and is generally all over YouTube. Mental Floss focuses on debunking and answering common questions or misconceptions about everyday life. Things like, why do our teeth chatter when we're cold? Or common misconceptions about exercise.
Plus, according to a 2013 study published in the Journal of Strength and Conditioning Research, people who stretched before weightlifting actually felt weaker.
On top of those questions and misconceptions that they're debunking, Mental Floss also features countdowns of trivia. This rapid-fire barrage of interesting facts is really addictive to watch and is definitely their most popular segment.
Okay, so we roll this down, and we pinch off with the thumbs, about an inch there, unroll, and re-roll. What?
Number 9, Matthew Santoro. Man, countdowns, eh? If you're not doing Taylor Swift covers, playing Minecraft, or pranking your girlfriend, chances are you're doing a countdown. Continuing in this fine YouTube tradition is our number 9 pick, Matthew Santoro, who may or may not be the guy from You Don't Know Jack.
Facebook tracks and records your IP address as well as the URL of every website that you visit that uses any of its social plugins, such as the like button. No need to be logged in or even have an account.
Here on TopX, we often mention channels that update on a consistent basis, making them reliable sources for a weekly or even daily fix. Matthew Santoro's channel is one of those. He uploads a 50 amazing facts to blow your mind countdown every week, and in between these, releases countdowns of 10 on more specific topics.
When the elephant whisperer Lawrence Anthony died in March of 2012, an entire herd of elephants arrived at his home to mourn him.
Like Mental Floss, these are less about having to learn a specific topic and more serve as a cascade of interesting trivia to satisfy your conversational party needs.
Nemo makes an appearance in the movie Monsters, Inc. as a toy that Boo gives to Sully a full 2 years before Finding Nemo was released. In fact, Pixar movies are infamous for being full of Easter eggs like this.
Number 8, Minute Physics. Moving away from lighthearted trivia and delving into slightly more advanced topics, we have Minute Physics coming in at number 8.
Does the universe have a purpose? I'm not sure, but anyone who expresses a more definitive response to the question is claiming access to knowledge not based in empirical foundations.
Minute Physics is easily recognizable by their hand-drawn, stop-motion style. I say hand-drawn, and I mean that literally, because you actually see a hand come in and draw the illustration in question.
Even light itself is an unstoppable force. Every photon that hits your body changes your momentum a tiny little bit, and there's nothing you can do about it other than avoid light altogether or become transparent.
The art style goes for bare-bones simplicity and uses a stick figure style that will be very familiar to anyone who reads XKCD. While the topics on Minute Physics vary in complexity, they really excel at explaining common yet complex concepts, things like E equals MC squared or Schrodinger's cat. So if you're too embarrassed to ask what sea level means, they'll help you out.
For example, when we say that Mount Everest is 8,850 meters above sea level, how do we know what sea level would be beneath Mount Everest, since there's no sea for hundreds of kilometers?
Number 7, SciShow. Those damn Green brothers are at it again. At number 7, we have SciShow, which is hosted by Hank Green, brother to John Green, who we saw earlier.
Just like birds, bats, and bees all have wings but are found in very different places on the tree of life, so too are our venomous friends, a good example of convergent evolution, where diverse animals evolve similar features separately at different points in time.
Much like his brother's show, Hank's SciShow really focuses on debunking common misconceptions about everyday life. SciShow definitely goes into topics that are a bit more outlandish though, certainly ones that come up with less frequency than on other channels. These topics range from what are blood types to why do your joints crack when you crack your knuckles.
So that pop you hear is actually the sound of a bubble forming inside your synovial fluid. What's really cool is if you take an X-ray of a joint right after cracking it, you can actually see the bubble. It increases the size of the joint cavity by about 15%.
It's this variety that helps differentiate SciShow from its contemporaries. The topics he covers range from biology, entomology, zoology, the list goes on. And with 2 or 3 videos published every week, there's tons to sink your teeth into.
New studies are looking at snake venom to treat arthritis, scorpion venom to fight brain cancer, and the golden dart frog's alkaloid toxins for use as a pain reliever stronger than morphine.
Number 6, ASAP Science. Coming up next is ASAP Science, hosted by Gregory Brown and Michael Moffat, who you can see serenading potential subscribers on their channel page.
I'll be the spark if you'll be the flame. Start a reaction that can't be contained. Balance your pH by sharing my base. I'll be your star if you'll be my space.
ASAP Science uses a sort of stop-motion whiteboard kind of style that's actually very similar to Minute Physics. However, they just seem to sort of do it a bit better. Rarely do they ever have to use an outside picture, while they're still always clearly illustrating the concept that they're explaining.
The chicken or the chicken egg focuses more on the cyclical cause and consequence. That is, if a chicken is born from an egg, where did the egg come from? Another chicken, presumably, which too must have come from an egg.
The guys at ASAP Science have clearly put a lot of effort into making their videos as accessible as possible. Everything from the animation style to the cadence and vocabulary, all the way to the titles they choose for their videos, lets you know that ASAP Science has positioned themselves as something that would be as fun and interesting for kids as it would be for adults.
The testicles are attached to many nerves in the stomach, as well as the vagus nerve, which is directly connected to the brain's vomit center, and this is why when hit, the pain spreads throughout the abdomen.
Number 5, Crash Course. We're just past the halfway point, and here we have another channel hosted by the Green Brothers. Really? The Green Brothers? Are you kidding me?
Hi, I'm John Green. Welcome to Crash Course. This is a YouTube channel. It's a place, where like YouTube videos go.
Apparently not content with their other 428 channels, here the Green Brothers offer crash courses in a variety of topics. Whereas their other channels seek to answer or debunk certain questions, here the Green Brothers help you be a quasi-expert in a certain topic in 15 minutes or less.
Cellular respiration is how we derive energy from the food that we eat, specifically from glucose, since most of what we eat ends up as glucose.
As you might expect, here the Green Brothers actually have to go into a certain amount of depth that you won't get on other channels. That's not to say their videos are dry or boring though. A mix of the quirky Green Brothers, flashy animations, and a lot of supporting B-roll makes the videos very watchable. I promise you, it's a lot better than school.
Whether you're here because you need to pass a test, because you need to help your students pass a test, or best of all, just because you want to learn stuff, we hope you'll find our content helpful and rewarding.
Number 4, Smarter Every Day. Smarter Every Day follows the scientific adventures of Destin Sandlin. Now, I say adventures because instead of setting up in a home studio, Destin goes out into the world and goes on scientific adventures, filming on location. These adventures often explore the science of everyday things like the science of a slap shot or a tattoo gun.
Rotary machines are pretty easy to understand. Here this motor has rotational motion, and it's translated to linear motion here at the needle bar. That's pretty simple, right?
Although he clearly has access to high-speed cameras and pretty advanced animation, Destin always films himself during these adventures with his own handheld camera, kinda selfie style. These give the videos a kind of feeling like you're there with him on the adventure.
I have decided that I want to feel what this needle feels like because it's actually going in the skin and pulling it up. And you said you can do this without actually tattooing me.
Yeah, I'm not going to use it. I'm just going to use a needle.
Aside from the eccentric host and the overall style, what Smarter Every Day really has going for it is ultra slow motion footage. His most popular videos are stuff like an AK firing underwater in super slow-mo or a tattoo gun tattooing skin in super slow-mo. Number 3, Khan Academy. Continuing in the trend of channels that help you learn a specific topic in depth, here we have Khan Academy, a channel founded by Salman Khan.
Hi, my name is Sal Khan. I'm the founder and faculty of the Khan Academy, and we're trying to educate the world.
More of an intellectual institution than an entertaining video channel, Khan Academy is no joke. Their motto is to provide a world-class education for anyone, anywhere.
Because the most beautiful, complex concepts in the whole universe are built on basic ideas that anyone, anywhere, can understand.
Taking a quick look at one of their videos or even a list of their stills, you'd be forgiven if you thought that Khan Academy was a similar channel, stylistically at least, to Minute Physics or ASAP Science. But you'd be very wrong. While those channels go to great lengths to make their videos very accessible and user-friendly, Khan Academy just focuses on making their videos thorough.
The reason why we care is that these are the inputs into the electron transport chain. These get oxidized, or they lose their hydrogens in the electron transport chain, and that's where the bulk of the ATP is actually produced.
While it's certainly not lighthearted fare, if you're looking for something to replace that fancy education you couldn't afford or didn't pay attention to, Khan Academy might be just what you need. Number 2, Veritasium. Somewhat similar to Smarter Every Day, Veritasium is another channel that's host-driven and filmed on location.
Sometimes the simplest questions have the most amazing answers. Like, is there a speed limit in the universe? Where does the sun get that energy from? Where do they get the matter to make the tree?
Like pretty much every other channel on this list that isn't a course channel, Veritasium focuses on answering everyday questions and debunking common misconceptions. However, he's climbed a bit higher on this list because of the production value and polish of his videos. There's better camera work, underlying music, and an all-round professionalism to his clips that really helps him stand out.
Doesn't this violate Einstein's special theory of relativity that says nothing should be able to move faster than light? Actually, no. Relativity says nothing can move through space faster than light, but that doesn't stop space itself from expanding however it likes.
What's ironic about this high production value that I point out is that he actually has a second channel called To Veritasium, where he likes to post things that are unedited. Because, and I swear this is true, editing and all that polish is a lot of work.
We showed that if you light a tea bag on fire from the top, it will actually take off into the air. That happens because as the tea bag is burning, all the air inside it heats up, and so it expands, so it gets less dense, and it's pushed up by all the cooler air around it.
Before we get to our top pick, here are a few honorable mentions. Number 1, VSAUCEC. Rounding out our list is one last channel devoted to mind-blowing facts. Now, that's a direct quote from their About page, so you know that trivia is going to play a huge role in this, our number 1 pick.
Hey, Vsauce! Michael here. Action and danger is exciting, but this is a fake gun, and the process of enlarging a hole like the barrel of a gun is called boring.
So, I know I've repeated this a couple of times today, but this is another channel that really likes to focus on debunking and talking about common scientific questions. They differentiate themselves from their contemporaries, however, by throwing in a decent amount of philosophical, psychological, and existential questions into the mix. So, along with stuff like what happens to guns in space, or whether or not the 5-second rule is accurate, you have things like why do we get bored, or what makes things cute.
Small body size with a disproportionately large head, large eyes, and round and soft body features.
Funnily enough, Vsauce is at the top of the list because they ask a lot of questions that you probably don't ask yourself a lot. Things like, how much does the internet weigh? Or what if everyone on Earth jumped at the same time?
Okay, so then we jump. What happens? Unfortunately, not much.
It's this interesting mix of hard science answering really quirky questions that makes Vsauce such a great channel to watch, and why it's our number 1.
Every single video across the entire web, every single image, every single website, every email you've sent, every love letter you've written, every photo of your grandkids you've received is collectively held within an amount of mass about the size of the smallest possible grain of sand.
That's it for our countdown. Chances are you're smarter already. Be sure to vote on our upcoming lists on our Suggest page online, follow us on Twitter and Instagram, and for more great top 10s published every day, be sure to subscribe to WatchMojo.com.